welcome to Pet Pals. I'm Bethany Davidson, the Humane Educator here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Joining us, as always, as our expert animal wrangler is our dedicated volunteer, Tammy Benson. And our first guest today is one full of energy, and she is one that you may recognize. Unfortunately, this is Pearl's third stay here at Animal Control, and we are hoping that we can find her a permanent forever home this go-round. Because she has been here so frequently, we are adopting her through our puppy process this time, which means we're going to take more applications for her. We're going to ask more information from people. She is a 3 to 4 year old Catahoula leopard dog, and she has a beautiful blue Merlin white coat, which, you know, her exotic look and, you know, just the fact that she's such a beautiful dog makes people want to take her home. But they often don't understand the energy level that this dog and this breed have, and so they take her home and they just realize that it's not a good fit. So we are working really hard this go around to make sure that that does not happen to Pearl and that she doesn't end up back here with us. She is also going to be going to a home with kids that are over the age of 6. We make these assessments based on the behavior of the dog, keeping in mind the safety of the dog as well as the safety of the children in the family that the dog would be going to. She is color-coded as a green dog, which means go, go, go here, high energy. And as you can see, she is all over the place. She wants cuddles, she wants to give you kisses, she wants to run and play, she's nosy, she wants to get into everything, which is not necessarily like a bad quality. You just have to be prepared for this is how she's going to be in your home. She wants to get into stuff, she wants to jump up and give you kisses. But she does have some basics as she's showing right now. She knows sit, down, and paw. And she will offer them up to you if she knows you have a treat. She will do anything to get a hold of that treat. She was surrendered to us this time after being in a home for 8 months, and they said that it was a financial thing and they just didn't have enough time to dedicate to her. Based on our behavior assessment of her this most recent time, she still needs a little work on house training. She's very friendly. Her reactions to other dogs just varies on the dog. So as with any dog, we recommend that you do a dog-to-dog meet and greet and see how Pearl would feel about your existing dog. She likes to be petted. Our text says that she's just made of energy and cuddles, which I think we can all see is pretty accurate, and she's going to need lots of exercise. If you can give Pearl all the exercise and attention that she needs, you can stop in and visit with her here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center, 1832 Rosemont Avenue. Our next guest is Aries, and she is one of our pit bull mixes and one of our many black dogs on the adoption floor right now. The one thing that makes Aries stand out among all the others, though, is her eyes. She has icy blue eyes, and they, you could just look into them forever. And they are the window to the soul, and her soul is just the sweetest. She wants to give love and kisses and cuddles, and she's a true gem. That just needs someone to see beyond some of the superficial things. As you might be able to see right now, she has a little bit of hair loss. She has a skin infection that she came in with. Hi, Aries, yes. And we are treating her for that right now, so hopefully that's going to be something that won't be affecting her in the long run. We are working on that. And she doesn't seem to be that bothered by it. I mean, you know, some dogs, their personalities might change if they're, you know, feeling itchy or in pain, and she's just as lovable as ever. We have behavior assessed her, as we do all the dogs. Aries did come in previously owned, but they did not give us a profile, so we don't know kind of how she is in a home environment. We only know how she is here. She keeps her kennel pretty clean. She's very friendly and excited when you approach her kennel. She reacts favorably to other dogs. She tries to play with them. She's easy to get leashed up, but she can be a little jumpy and excited as she is right now. She's difficult to walk in that she pulls and jumps, which is something that can be easily trained. She is very excited, wants to give love. She doesn't really have issues with food aggression. When we tested her, she wasn't really interested in toys, but since she's been out here with us, she's definitely shown that she loves to play with a toy. She's interested in those. She seems to want to play tug, which is something that we don't really encourage here just because it could be a bit dangerous for volunteers if they don't understand the rules of the game with the dog. But she's, other than her energy level, which is a little high, and you just want to make sure you can maintain that and make sure she's getting the appropriate amount of exercise, and you can work with her as she continues to recover from her skin infection. Aries is an adult dog at 1 to 2 years old, so she would be adopted for our fee of $92.50. We will make sure that she is spayed before she leaves. She's already been microchipped. She'll get her rabies vaccine, distemper, bordetella vaccines. She'll be dewormed, get flea and tick preventative, and she'll continue to be on her medication for her skin infection until that's resolved while she's here with us. Our next guest is Dolly, and she is a 4 to 5 year old black and brindle hound mix, and she is quickly becoming a volunteer favorite. I've had several volunteers tell me how much they love Dolly, how sweet she is, how gentle she is. So hopefully some adopter will come in and have the same opinion as all of these volunteers and want to take Dolly home. She is color-coded orange, which means she's individually average. She has pretty good manners. She's not overly energetic. She has a great behavior assessment. She keeps her kennel clean. She's very friendly. She has a favorable reaction to other dogs. She's easy to obtain. She's easy to walk. She's got no issues with food aggression. They were unable to test her for guarding because she wasn't interested in the toy that she gave her. But here today, she's been playing with these toys, been very gentle with them. No issues kind of getting them away from her. She loves to be petted, and she gives paw on cue anytime she knows somebody has a treat. If you ask her to sit, she's like a reflex. She's giving you that paw, which is, some people find that very cute. Some people find it a bit of an annoyance. Just depends on what side of the fence you fall on. But either way, Dolly's just adorableness is undeniable. She's super cute. She is, going to be spayed before she leaves. She's going to get, all of her vaccinations. She's going to be microchipped, and all of that for just because she's a senior at 4 to 5. You'll get a $20 discount. So you'll actually get all of that same stuff that you get any other time, but you'll get it for $72.50, instead of the normal $92.50. So you really can't beat that price. And she has a great demeanor, but if you're taking on a hound dog, you do want to make sure that you're doing a little bit of research, especially if you've not had one before, just so you understand the breed. Dolly's been relatively quiet here, but hounds have a tendency to bay and bark, which it doesn't make them great for kind of apartment living. When they catch a scent, they're going to try to follow it. So you need to make sure that you have a secure fence so that she's not trying to chase squirrels out and stuff like that, or you're keeping her on a leash when you're out and about. Always obeying the leash laws in the county and municipalities in which you live. Our next guest is Raven, and he is a senior at 8 years old. He is a black lab mix. He came to us previously owned, but we don't have a profile from his owners, discussing, things that they've noticed about him or the reason why he was surrendered. When we intake animals here, we always ask people who own the animals to fill out a personality profile. And sometimes people do, and sometimes people decline, and there's different varying levels of how well it's filled out. My advice to anyone who has to surrender an animal to us is to fill those out as thoroughly as possible. Those personality profiles can go a long way toward helping us find an appropriate home for the animal that you're bringing to us. With those, we can decide whether or not they do well with children, or if they're used to living with cats or other dogs, or if they have fears, things that they might be allergic to, all kinds of information that can help a potential adopter make those very important decisions about whether or not to take an animal into their home. So I want to encourage everyone to fill those out. as well as possible if you are in a situation where you have to bring an animal to us. Raven does have some health things, so it is our policy that all people have to come in and read these behavior and medical profiles before they're able to visit with an animal. So it's really going to be important in a case, and he's a perfect example of that. He does have some medical things. You want to make sure you're prepared to take that on. One of them is that he is Lyme positive, but there's some other things in there as well, so you want to make sure you're thoroughly reading this. But other than his medical and the fact that he's a little bit overweight at 112 pounds, he is got a very good behavior assessment. He mostly keeps his kennel clean. He's very friendly. He has a favorable reaction to other dogs. He's just very strong, so it can make it hard to get him leashed up and walked. But those are things that if you train and work with him that you'll be able to resolve. He has no issues with food aggression. He willingly lets go of objects or reluctantly gives up objects when asked. He likes to play with balls. He knows how to fetch. He likes squeaky toys. If you have it in your heart to adopt an older dog and can provide him the proper medical care, you can stop in and visit with Raven here at Frederick County Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. If you'd like to call to get more information before making a trip, you can call us at 301-600-1546. The last dog that we have for you today is Albert, and Albert's been with us since the middle of September, and he came to us as a stray. He's about 5 to 6 years old, and he is a hound mix. Albert weighs in at 77.8 pounds, so a diet would be beneficial for Mr. Albert. He is color-coded orange. He's, individually average. He has some, he's a relatively calm dog as far as I've seen. He spends a lot of time sleeping and laying on his bed and watching the world go by. He comes up to greet visitors in his kennel, but he has been, lately, for me anyway, avoiding getting his picture taken. He says, "No photos, please." He's very sweet, kind of relaxed dog, but figuring out what motivates him to get him to do a little exercise is going to be important. Talking to your vet if you were to make Albert part of your family to get him down to a healthy weight is going to be important as well. We have him as 5 to 6 years old, so that's technically a senior for us. So you want to make sure that you have Albert with you as long as possible, and that's going to involve getting him to shed a few pounds. Because he is listed as 5 to 6 years old, you will get that $20 reduction in your adoption fee, so you could make him part of your family for just $70 to $50. When we behavior assessed Albert, we found a lot of great things actually. He's pretty good about keeping his kennel clean. He's very friendly. He has no reaction to other dogs. He's easy to obtain. He's easy to walk. He has no issues with food aggression. He loves to be petted, and he wasn't really interested in toys. So maybe you've never had a dog before and you're looking at getting a first dog. Albert would be a good one because he's, easy to manage. He has a lot of, he's calm. He doesn't have any issues with food aggression. He's good with other dogs. In fact, I'm boring him right now. So all those things are things that you can take into consideration. But he is a hound dog, so sometimes they can bay and bark. And then also, when they catch that scent, just like we've talked about with Dolly, although right now I don't envision good old Albert here running off too quickly. We hope that you've enjoyed meeting some of the canines that we have available for adoption. Stay tuned, and after the break, we'll introduce you to some of the felines that are here as well.
Many volunteer opportunities are available on Frederick County boards and commissions, whether the Commission on Aging, Human Relations Commission, the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, Workforce Development Board, or many others. Those desiring to serve must be residents and registered voters of Frederick County. For more information, contact Joyce Grosnickel at 301-600-1102 or by email at fcgboards@frederickcountymd.gov.
Welcome back. As we've been mentioning for the last several weeks, we have a promotion going on right now for our cats because we have a lot to choose from. It's our Fall in Love promotion, and all of our cats and kittens over the age of 8 months old will be adopted for a fee of just $15.50 from now until October 31st. And our first guest today qualifies for that. This is Bracken, and he is a little more exotic than what we typically have. Most of our cats are just domestic, long hair, short hair, medium hair. But Bracken is actually a ragdoll mix, and he is a handsome seal point ragdoll mix. So he's a little bit more exotic than the typical animals that we have available for adoption here. He's about 2 to 3 years old, and he actually came to us as a stray. He is one of our green color-coded animals, so he's a go, go, go kind of guy, and he's been trying to get down on the floor ever since I put him up on Tammy's lap. He's been trying to figure that out. But when I picked him up to put him in his carrier, he was in a more familiar environment, and he let me hold him for a minute, and he kind of settled in. He walked right into the carrier, but he does have that tendency to be a little bit more energetic, a little more playful, a little bit more resistant to being held for long periods of time and things like that. Because he does have a longer coat, whoever were to adopt Bracken will have to make sure that they're helping him out with his grooming a little bit, making sure he's getting brushed so that he doesn't develop mats and things like that. Those mats can be very painful for the animals. They can get, all the way down to the skin. So you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence there. If you're not prepared to be brushing your cat at least on a weekly basis, then you might want to consider getting something that's definitely in the short hair department there. Because he came to us as a stray, we don't really know a lot about Bracken yet. We're still figuring all that stuff out. But he will be neutered before he leaves. He will receive his rabies vaccine and distemper vaccine. We deworm all the animals that come in, and we give him flea and tick preventative. He has been microchipped, so if he were to make his way out as a stray again, we and any other organization that has microchip readers would be able to identify where he belongs and get him safely back home. If you are interested in making Bracken part of your family, you can visit him here at Frederick County Animal Control. We are open to the public 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Our next guests are the last two of their litter. They are Jim and Dwight, and they are quickly becoming two of my favorite cats on the adoption floor. I've taken them to so many events. I feel like it's 4 or 5 now, and they do well at each and every one of them. And I just can't understand why no one wants to take these boys home and make them part of their family. They were originally part of a litter of 4, and their sister Pam and their brother Michael were gray, and they quickly got adopted. And now these two ginger tabbies, if you will, are still hanging out looking for a forever home. They're about 5 months old now, so they're quickly growing, and they're becoming, coming into their personalities more, but every day we're adding new 2.5, 3-month-old kittens, and it's making it harder for these boys to find a place because people are attracted to those tiny kittens. So I want to say the benefits of the older kittens is you still get those playful moments, but more of how they're going to be. And these guys are amazing. They are very playful. They're very affectionate. They are both very outgoing. I took them to yoga with cats, and they were both running around the room and interacting with all of the participants in the class. I will say that Jim can be a little bit shyer of the two. He's the one here with me. He's the lighter colored one. We took him to an event where there was lots of noise, and they were in separate cages. and he was definitely showing some signs of feeling a little stressed. So we put him in with his brother Dwight, and they were instantly much happier, much more relaxed. They do not have to be adopted together, but I will say that they would probably do better together. They've been together for so long now that are starting to rely on each other for comfort. And adopting 2 kittens is actually a great idea because they can cuddle with each other, they can provide each other with companionship, they can play together, so they're not going to be as needy when it comes to what they need from you, their owner. So if you're at work all day, you don't have to worry about them being alone because they have a companion. And the benefit of adopting litter mates is that they already are familiar with one another. You don't have to worry about, hey, do I like this cat or not? Do I get along with this cat? They've already learned how to do that. And these guys will cuddle together, play together. They're very sweet. So again, just to identify them, Jim here is the lighter colored one on my lap. And then the darker one over there with Tammy is Dwight, darker Dwight. It's easy to remember that way. They are not yet 8 months old, so they are still going to be adopted for our normal $97.50 adoption fee. But if you were to adopt both of these guys as a pair, then you would get a $20 reduction on your total adoption fee for taking 2 and making them both part of your family. Callie is our next guest, and she may resemble Jim and Dwight in size, but she is far from a kitten. She's actually 2 to 3 years old. I was just looking at their medicals. They weigh about 4 pounds and change each, and she weighs 5 pounds 1 ounce. So she is a very teeny tiny girl. She is a forever kitten, if you will. Her name is Callie, and she came to us previously owned, but again, she did not have any personality profile filled out or anything like that. We went ahead and named her Callie. She also didn't have a name. She is a domestic shorthair, and she's a Torby with white. So what does Torby mean? Torby is a combination of tabby cat stripes with the tortoise shell coloring. So she's got the oranges in there and the darker spots along with the kind of brown tabby, orange tabby markings. So she is a beautiful girl, and we have quickly found out here once she made her way to the adoption floor that she is a lap cat. She will curl right up on somebody's lap. She's perfectly content to sit there. You know, when you pick her up, she's perfectly happy being held. She is color-coded green, so she does have an activity level with her, and sometimes that color coding comes from, you know, their how they behave during their vet exams. So if she didn't really like being restrained or something like that, that could indicate that that's her color coding, but she definitely is quite comfortable up on a lap. Other than that, we're still figuring out, you know, her personality. She's been with us since mid-September, but she did get an upper respiratory infection, as many of the cats here do, just because there's so many animals and their immune systems are suppressed, and people unfortunately don't follow our signs and instructions to clean their hands between each cat cage, so they're spreading germs from one cat cage to the next. So because she did come down with that upper respiratory infection, she didn't make her way out to the floor until just recently. If you are interested in Callie, you can visit her here at Animal Control. Our hours of operation for visitation are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Friday from 10 to 5, Wednesday and Thursday from 12 to 8, and Saturday from 10 to 4. We have another orange tabby for you. This is Kat, K-A-T, and he is about 2 years old. He is a domestic shorthair. He was with us previously. Last year, he was adopted when he was named Thumper, and he was returned recently, and he's looking for his second or third chance, if you will, at a forever home. He was brought to us for personal reasons. We don't know what those reasons are, but they are definitely not Kat's fault. He is handsome, he's adorable, all of the adjectives for cute that you can think of. And he's a very kind of easygoing cat. He's color-coded orange, which just means he's individually average. He loves attention. He will ask for it. Cute things about Cat, he likes to drink from his water bowl with his feet in his bowl. So that's like a quirky little thing that he does. He's easy to purr. I picked him up put him in the carrier to bring him out here, and he was just happy to get love and attention. He's going to be a great fit for anybody who's looking to adopt. It says that he's a lap cat, which I believe, and that he sleeps in bed with his former owner. That's what he used to do. So if you're looking for somebody to keep you warm as the winter creeps in upon us a little earlier than maybe some of us might like with these chilly temperatures, cat would be a good cat to do that with. He would be great with kids. It doesn't say that he has had experience with other cats, but I don't envision there being a problem. I've seen him kind of playing through the cage with some of our other animals on the floor near him. So he's just a young guy who's very sweet, but also very playful, very affectionate, who needs another chance at a forever home. Because he is over the age of 8 months, if you were to adopt him before October 31st, you could take him home for just $15.50. After that, he would be adopted for our normal adult and kitten adoption fee, which would be $97.50. That both of those fees include all of the medical care that he receives while he was here. He was neutered from us previously, but we made sure he got another rabies vaccine. He's had a couple of distempers. He's been dewormed, had flea and tick preventative. We will re-register that microchip that we previously implanted in him. We offer a free well visit to the vet, so you really can't beat all that you're getting with the price when you adopt here from Frederick County Animal Control. Our last guest today is Luna, and she is a new resident to our kitty cabana, so you can spend a lot more time in there hanging out with her and getting her to know her there. She is also one of our longest residents. She's been here well over 100 days. She arrived on April 7th with 3 newborn kittens and was placed into foster care so that she could raise her babies. And then she and her kittens came back and were made available for adoption around the beginning of June. Her kittens have all come and gone, found loving homes, but Luna still sits patiently waiting to find a family who wants to call her their own. She is a petite girl. When they last weighed her on the 30th of July, she weighed just 5 pounds, 15 ounces. So at 2 years old, she is definitely a petite girl, a forever kitten. She's going to have that adorable little kitten face as long as she lives. So people tend to like that, and if that draws you in, definitely come in and visit with Luna. Originally, Luna was a little shy, a little more reserved, but over time she's acclimated to shelter life and has become a lot more outgoing. She has been asking for attention. She's not afraid to let people know how she's feeling. She's meowing at people. In the cabana, she's definitely come into her own a little bit more. She used to just sit and hide in her bed all day, and now she comes and greets people. So she's doing really well, but if you were to take her home, she might revert to that little shy version of herself until she gets comfortable. She was living in the cabana with one of our senior cats, Smoke, and she and he got along really well right from the start. So if you have another cat, Luna should hopefully just fit into the family with relative ease, but you do want to make sure that you're following all of the advice that we provide during our adoption interviews on how to properly integrate new animals into your home. Luna is going to be adopted again for that $15.50 fee if you were to adopt before October 31st. And then after that, she would go back to our normal $97.50 adoption fee. If you want to check in and make sure any of the animals that you've seen on the show are still available before making the trip to the shelter, you can give us a call at 301-600-1546. We hope to see you visiting soon, but if not, we'll see you here next week for the next episode of Pet Pals.